What is good, YouTube? And today we're going to be talking about the two banners that are running for this Valentine's Day season, featuring Roana, the RGB 5-star Earth Soul Weaver, who's very good in PvE and PvP. The bottom right graphic here doesn't show her justice for how good she actually is. And of course, the new character that is a limited character that just came out for Valentine's Day, and that is Tori. We're going to be talking about where you can use them and how strong they are and if they are worth summoning for. Now, just a disclaimer, Roana is available currently on the banner, but she's also available from the story summon. So even if I say that she's really good, spoiler alert, just keep in mind if you guys don't have the bookmarks to pull for her now, or if you do only have enough bookmarks to pull for one character and you want Tori, you can always do her side story and then actually pull for her on the story summon whenever you want. But if you do have bookmarks, maybe you want to pull both. So yeah, let's actually talk about these characters very quickly. So let's start off with Tori here because she is the new character. She's a very good unit for PvP. For PvE, she's not really that good because you do have to rely on her soul burn a lot, which we'll talk about. But let's look at her skills very quickly. So she's a fire thief. She has an S3 that gives attack and speed buff to everyone on her team for 3 turns, gives her an extra turn on a 4-turn cooldown. And she also has this very strong passive, and this passive is very good because any buffs that are granted to her are undispellable. So if you actually put immunity on her as well, anything that dispels buffs on her will not really work because you can't dispel the immunity either. So she's very good with immunity units in that regard, or immunity set. Also, you'll see that when she's attacked, damage suffered in one attack does not exceed 51% when you max this out. So it makes it so that she basically needs to die in 3 attacks, I believe, especially if you have a barrier, right? And also you'll see at the start of the start of her turn, she has a 20% chance for each buff she has to grant Cascade, and Cascade is that buff that ML Shroon also has. After you attack, you deal 2500 fixed damage, and this works against dodges and just works against everything, right? And Cascade can only be granted once every 2 turns, and this is very important for S1 because S1 single target attack that gives her a barrier that scales with her attack, makes her more bulky, right? But the soul burn is the biggest thing here. It just will make her S1 hit a ton harder. But the thing is, when you're granted Cascade, this does not cost any souls to soul burn. So every other turn, if you have enough buffs and your Cascade is proccing, you can soul burn her S1, and this will hit extremely hard. It can one-shot a lot of squishy characters, and even on tanky characters, it can do more than half their health. So it makes her kind of like a very strong solo carry. She's very good because she has a lot of utility with her S3 here. You know, these buffs are very good, and you know, she's just very hard to kill. If you pair her with immunity characters or anything that gives her a barrier, such as like the buffed Adventurer Ross, which we'll showcase in a future video, they pair very well together, Tori and Adventurer Ross, then she's very good, right? Buffs are good on her. Newly buffed DN is very good. Only thing is, you want to make sure, you know, you don't bring her with an attack buffing character. You can if you want, like a Meteor Cowrick is okay because he gives her immunity, but she already has an attack buff for herself and a speed buff as well, not just for herself, but for everyone. So you're kind of stacking buffs. So bringing other types of buffs, like I mentioned, like immunity, and especially like barriers with like Adventure Ross, you know, DN, even Last Rider Crow, Fallen Cecilia, and stuff like that will be very good for her. Pretty powerful PvP unit overall. I don't think she's like super broken, but she's very fun to play, and if you're looking for a playstyle that revolves around protecting one carry and kind of bringing like 3 utility characters around her, she might be worth going for you. She's a limited character, so she won't be available for a while. Even when they run the custom triple banner, she won't be available for the first one because she hasn't rerun yet. She might not even be available for the first 2. So because of that, you're gonna have to wait a long time to get her again. And I think she's a pretty good character. I don't think she's like game-breakingly broken, but pretty strong. And who knows, maybe when Fallen Cecilia gets her new buffs, Tori will become like super broken with how Fallen Cecilia, you know, works. Now let's actually talk about her artifact, Feed of Criticism. Works well with her because she gets attack, which is very good, gives her more barriers, right? And also she gets a barrier at the start of battle, equivalent to up to 100% of her attack, which is huge. The only thing is her barrier strength on her doesn't matter too much because you're damage limiting anyways with her passive. So instead of her own artifact, I've been finding more success on Janua's Dark Blood Keeper because it does give you attack as well, but you're going to see after you use a non-attack skill, which is her S3, you get a barrier, which is smaller, for 2 turns. But the thing is, this barrier can be activated once every 3 turns, so every time she S3s, she's getting this barrier, whereas with her own artifacts, you only get it at the start of battle. I'm sure there's other artifacts you can use, like damage dealing artifacts as well, like Symbol of Unity and stuff like that on her as well, or maybe even Evasion's okay. But I think her artifact's not that, required for her. But if you do want it because it's limited, or because of the artwork, be my guest. But I don't think it's necessarily required. Maybe it'll be good on a unit in the future, but on her, I don't think it's her best artifact in my opinion. Now let's talk about Roana. Very good character. Her main gimmick is going to be her S2. Basically, anytime you're attacked by an extra attack, counter attack, dual attack, you get combat readiness for your entire team and also heal them on no cooldown. That's the biggest thing. I think if Smilegate released this unit a little bit later in its existence, they might have put a cooldown on this because this is super broken, right? Any boss in PvE that has extra attacks or counter attacks, you just never die and you cycle very quickly. A lot of examples of those can be in Raid and Adventure and even like Advent side stories. And her S3 is very good as a safety net. You have a barrier, revive, and heal as well. So yeah, they have her listed as like Katie's, I believe. If we look here, yeah, Katie's an Exposition. This is Ice Exposition. She's very good there, but she's good in so many more areas of content. And there's a lot of like niche ways you can use her in Adventure. Any boss that has extra attacks, dual attacks, or counter attacks, you bring her in, and it's pretty much a free win. And when Smilegate does release those very hard Advent side stories with very good like rewards, like those light and dark summons that come with it, Roana is usually the best pick there because a lot of the bosses there have like extra attacks and counter attacks and stuff like that. Namely like Lethe side story that's coming out in the summer she's gonna be very good there. Even Ocean Breeze Lucas, she's very good there as well. So she's like an invaluable character to have. I think you need to have her on your account just because she's so good in PvE in a lot of areas of content. And in PvP, you can also still pick her. If you're against anything that counterattacks, she's very good. If you're against anything that has like an extra attack, she's also very good. So very good counter pick in PvP, a very good pocket pick to have as well. And you can just build her on your PvE build and use her in PvP, and she's very good still. So that's why she's very good. She's very low gear investment. I think like my Roana, if we look at her, has like super crappy gear, and I still use her a lot. Yeah, you see I have her on 75, 65, 75 gear, 75 gear, so not the best, right? And I have her on just like random pieces, and she's still invaluable to my account. So yeah, definitely a good character. I think Roana is one of the best characters in the game period for like RGB 5 stars in terms of like overall usability. You can use her at all stages of the game in a lot of areas of content, so I think she's very good to have. Do you pull her over Tori though if you only have enough for one summon, which most people probably only have? I don't really think so. I think you still go for Tori first, given if you want to summon for her. Of course, you don't have to summon for Tori because she's not like game-breakingly broken. She's pretty strong for PvP, but not like super broken because of the fact that you can get Roana from this story summon whenever you want. And I forgot to mention it, but her artifact Touch of Echo is pretty trash, not really worth going for at all or buying from the Powder Knowledge shop. So both artifacts are just whatever. Tori's being probably better, right? But unit-wise, I think it's really up to you what you want to summon. Both are very good options, and it comes down whether you want something you can use now in a lot of areas of content like Roana, or if you want more of a PvP focused unit in Tori, who is a limited character and might be better with future characters to come out, and it's already pretty solid in my opinion anyways. Thank you for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys end up pulling for, and I'll see you guys next video.